following is a presentation of Disruption Networks.
The Property Sisters of the Mohawk Valley was born when 3 top producing agents with over 25 years of combined experience selling real estate joined forces to take real estate to the next level. We practice with honesty, integrity, and the knowledge to help make the buying and selling process easy and stress-free for all of our clients. We pledge to always make our clients our top priority from start to finish and even after the house is closed. We will always be a valued resource for information and assistance for our buyers and sellers. Our customers over the years have become not only past clients, but great friends. As we join hands together as the Property Sisters of the Mohawk Valley, we look forward to serving our clients and our community and making a positive difference. You can reach us at 315-601-9630 for all of your real estate needs.
When it's your hard-earned money on the line that you are investing into a home, it makes sense to choose a proven professional to assist you in making one of the biggest investments you may ever make. Josh's dedication of over 20 years to the home construction industry allows him to bring knowledge and experience to your doorstep. That means you can feel confident and comfortable with his service to you. Past clients love his attention to detail and thorough written reports. By allowing Priceless Inspections to help you make a well-informed decision concerning your property, you will find that a quality inspection is priceless. Follow Priceless Inspections on Facebook or call 315-525-8725.
Hi, this is attorney Nick Pasalacqua. The team of attorneys I have assembled at Pasalacqua & Associates has been carefully hand-picked to include the best trial attorneys in the particular areas of the law that we practice. Have you been charged with DWI or any other crime? Members of our team include former assistant district attorneys, now fighting to protect your rights 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Have you or someone you love been seriously injured in a motor vehicle accident? Members of the team at Pasalacqua & Associates include former insurance defense attorneys, now fighting to ensure that you get every penny you're entitled to. If you need legal help quick, don't waste your time or money calling anyone else. Remember, for legal help quick, you better call Nick and the team at Pasalacqua & Associates, 315-500-NICK or 315-500-6425 or visit cnytriallaw.com today.
Welcome to EC Radio Podcast. We would like to thank all of our sponsors for joining the Disruption team, and we hope that you will support all of our sponsors. And of course, we appreciate you listening to this program.
Disruption Networks. EC Radio. Disruption Networks.
It's time for that distorted voice in your eardrums. Ha ha ha! It's Thursday, and I know the day, believe it or not. It's EC Radio. Let's see how we look. Big ups to my boy John Liebing for coming up with my jingle. It is me, Z. How are ya? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Could you be mine, chicken? Could you be mine?
I would definitely be yours.
Thank you, buddy.
Nobody else will take me.
We are live on the D. You can find us at disruptionnetwork.net, as well as all the social media platforms. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitter. We're live on Periscope. We're live on Streamy, Restreamy. We're live in your mama's kitchen right now. That's what's happening. So it's EC Radio.
Food.
Ooh, food. Oh, it would help. Would help if I unmuted you, huh?
You ask her to come in, and you don't let her turn on her mic.
See how I do that? See how I treat my guests around here?
Treat her like she's Ease 1.
That's funny. That is funny. Joining us in the studio today, my friend Michelle Truett, 484 Design in the house, Levitt AMP music series.
What's going on, gentlemen?
Now, my understanding is, like, this is the woman. Like, from my understanding, like, she knows her stuff. Like,
dude, let me tell you, this girl, this woman right here, Wonder Woman.
This is the first time I met her, but I feel like I've already known her.
Wonder Woman.
You know,
she takes on more projects. I don't know how she does it. Do you sleep?
I do. I sleep like a log. Actually, I just had a doctor's appointment today, and they were asking me, how's your sleep? I'm like, oh, let me tell you. Like, I'm like clockwork, dude. Clockwork.
Yeah, because you are very busy.
Yeah, it's all in time management, and it's all in what you could do in an hour. I think it really goes back to when I was in college and you had these projects to do, and I was too poor to have my own computer back in the day, 20 years ago. So we'd have to be in the computer lab, and it was only open for like, half hour, an hour. I'm like, all right, I got to pound this project out. So I think that like has stayed with me. So I'm just like, all right, I got an hour. Things I could do in an hour, Z.
Can you teach time management? Because we need some help over here.
I was just gonna say I had
have
the same.
a client who does it.
This guy needs help with time management.
I was gonna say I did the same thing, but it was like, oh crap, my project's due like today, so I better do it now.
Yeah,
Like,
well, I mean, some people work best like that, right? But I don't know. In my old age, I like to plan things out and just make sure I'm ready for it all.
Right on.
That's all it is.
Well, let's talk about everything that you do.
Let's talk, Z.
Let's 484 design. Explain to everybody what that is.
Oh, you want my elevator speech?
Yes,
Yeah.
I want your
Your
elevator speech.
Sure. Well, I'm a solo graphic design firm, and I do corporate identity, branding, marketing, etc. for small businesses, nonprofits, and social enterprises.
Awesome.
wow.
Awesome. And not only that, but she is in charge of the Levitt AMP music series, which is happening.
Yes.
It starts June 26th?
June 25th.
June 25th.
They're on Monday nights all summer long.
all summer
yeah.
long. Bringing back pretty much the vibe of Utica Monday night.
Yeah.
Right? Is it safe to say that?
You got it. Yep. So the Levitt AMP concert series is funded through the Levitt Foundation, which is based out of Los Angeles.
Related to Lyle?
No, that's Levitt.
Oh.
Levitt. L-E-V-I-T.
In Kaepernick Park, right?
Yep.
Yeah. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Copernic. This is our third year, but just to give you a little, do you want to know like the history of
I want
Mr.
it all.
Levitt?
Absolutely.
I want it all. Mr. Levitt?
Mr. Levitt, yeah.
Okay, there's
So,
a Mr. Levitt.
Mortimer Levitt was the son of struggling immigrants, and they were down in New York City, and his dad worked up at Coney Island, and he would go out, and I think he was selling like little butterfly pins up at, Coney Island. So Mortimer would go out and join his dad at work sometimes, and they didn't have enough money to go into the rides and the different entertainment venues so that he could listen to it. So he would sit outside and listen to the music, and he just fell in love with live music. So later on, he kind of dropped out of school. I can't remember all the details of the story, but it's lovely. He dropped out of school when he was like 16. He got into the department store. He got into ready-made clothing because back then you had to get everything kind of tailored. So he was making shirts that were already made that you can kind of pick off of the rack. Okay. And he built a department store empire. So him and his wife had a summer home in Connecticut, and the town was looking at this old dump site that they had and trying to repurpose it, and they wanted to do kind of an amphitheater and outdoor music. So him and his wife were, they gave $25,000, which has nothing to do with why the grant now is $25,000, which is funny. But they went up there and were pleased when on the first concert they realized that it was named after them. Huh. And he put like this really cool entryway that reminded him of Coney Island, and he made sure that everybody was able to see those concerts for free.
And where was that?
That was in Connecticut, Westport, Connecticut.
Okay.
Do you remember the department store?
I'd have to look. It's not, if it's on levitamp.org, and I think the story is on there.
Oh, okay.
But I can't remember the name of it offhand. But the reason why the foundation is in Los Angeles now is Liz Levitt, who we were able to meet when we went out to the convening of all the winners this year. She moved out that way. So this is kind of Mimi, the wife, is still alive, and Liz runs the foundation along with her team out there.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
So that's Mortimer's daughter?
Mortimer's daughter.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
So they have permanent Levitt pavilions in large cities across the country, and they're in the process of building a couple more. One is in Los Angeles. I think they're putting one in I think it's Nebraska right now that they're building it in. So those are large cities. So the Levitt AMP series is the answer to the small to mid-sized cities under 400,000 that were like, hey, we want this too. And they started this 4 years ago. This is our third year, so it's really, we're on the cusp of a brand new kind of scalable,
this is all
creative
brand new.
placemaking. Yeah.
So I'm thinking this was all in place for years and years.
No, it's only 4 years old. Yeah, there's only two of us who are on our third year, and there's a couple who are in their fourth year, including our friends down in Trenton, New Jersey. So we have this kind of cool Levitt AMP family. They bring everybody out to Los Angeles in February after we know that we have won it, and they bring us to a convening for a few days, and it's awesome. We go to the foundation. They show us LA. We get to stay right downtown. And we have different speakers come in and talk about everything from, doing negotiations with the bands, how to program, how to scale, how to build audience. The whole purpose of Levitt is that it is taking underutilized public spaces and reinvigorating them through the power of free live music. So they want people who are in the neighborhood mixing and mingling, sitting next to the people who are from the suburbs. It gives me like goosebumps because, we've lived it for 2 years and we've been to like 20 concerts, and the mix of people that I see in Copernic Park is just, it's amazing.
That's what my question was going to be like. How did you land on Copernic Park?
Well, the first year, actually, when the application went in, it was in conjunction with the Landmark Society, and we were going to do them over at the Rucker Mansions. And once we won the award, and then we were going into logistics, and it just wasn't going to happen there. There was things that we needed to bring in for, the bands and the
Power.
electric and the power, and all that just couldn't be done on that lawn, and it's on the Scenic and Historic Registry, of course, so we just couldn't do it. So
What a
we
neat
were
idea,
scrambling a little bit. That would have been beautiful,
Yeah, it would have
too.
been pretty cool.
Gorgeous on those lawns with the trees. And, Rusted Green is involved, and I think Diane and Lynn and everybody involved was like, all right, we need to move this and we need to move it quick before we lose this grant. And Copernic Park came up, and it's a city-owned park, and it's just this little tiny slice of land right by Eagle Street, right across from Munson Williams. We put the stage up into Sales parking lot and shut Eagle Street down, and you've got this cool little wedge of a park across the way. Beautiful trees, it's nice and shady, and it's a perfect little size for. We figure we could fit about 1,000 people.
Yeah,
and we've been bringing. On average, 500 last year. Our biggest one, I think, was Sophistafunk, and they were about 550.
Great
weekly
band,
crowd
too.
count.
That was the biggest
They're
you had?
coming back this year.
Yeah, we'll get into
I can't even wait.
We'll get into that.
That was one of those nights where I couldn't fall asleep. I just kept watching the videos.
We were there. Yep.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
definitely-
I
We
remember.
went to a few of them last year.
Those are our boys. We
Yep.
saw Floodwood there last year.
Yep.
and-
ZZ.
Well, ZZ opened for
Yep.
Sophistafunk, right? I think. I don't know. But
She opened for someone last year. She's amazing too. But oh my goodness.
anyways,
So yeah, we landed on Copernic Park, and you know what? The park, I always joke, it literally has a little trodden path, a little dirt path, because people use that as a walkthrough from Park Ave to Genesee Street. Oneida Square, if you go through at any given point of the day, is really packed with people. There's a ton of pedestrians there going back and
You
forth.
still call it Oneida Square, huh?
Oneida, it is no, well, because it's a roundabout, because it's a circle.
Oneida Circle.
It'll always be
gets a
Oneida
square.
Square. We've been calling it the Oneida Square Arts District to really kind of
like
build
that.
it, bring in Flower Fest, all that good stuff. So the traffic counts there are amazing too. I think there's about 13,000 people that come by on the Genesee Street side, and another 9,000 something on Park Ave. So it is I think it was a godsend that we had to move it over there, because so many people see it, and they have tripped upon the concerts over the years and have become regulars just because they were driving by or walking by or biking by, and they're like, hey, what's this?
And I think it's a good shot in the arm for some of the businesses over there, too.
Oh my gosh.
Indeed.
We work closely with all of them. Palermo, Scoops and Sandwiches, Joel's, Guest House when he was there. And we try to promote them. We didn't have food trucks there for a reason, and we wanted to really promote people walking throughout the neighborhood, getting to know Oneida Square. It's got a bad perception of I used to, like I said before we went live, that was the first place I lived when I moved to Utica, right on Plant Street. And it was very different 20 years ago, and now I've got no problem. My first office was actually in the Friedlander Insurance Building across from Popeyes there. So I was there when DeAndre was little and going down to get Palermo's, and all was good, but not everybody feels that way about Oneida Square. So this, Flower Fest, some different things that we're doing, that's the whole point, is to bring people there, get them to move around. It's beautiful to see people from the suburbs especially come in, and they're walking down to Scoops and Sandwiches to get an ice cream cone, and they're coming back up to watch the concerts, and, they're comfortable. They're,
What I thought was
beautiful
cool,
night.
when we did the cleanup over there, you drive by Oneida Square and all that, and you don't really pay attention to things. And we're walking through, and I see all these with the communal gardens. All the
community gardens.
Yeah, all the gardens out there.
Yep.
I never noticed these things, and you see a lot of cool things that you just drive right past that you never
Right.
look at.
Yep.
And there's a lot of people trying to make it better over there. And I think this is one of those things that helps expose people to that area.
It's bringing light to those businesses. There's a little business called Lily's Party Supply that's over on the Popeyes side, and she's like a balloon master. She makes this crazy stuff, does a beautiful business. She's from El Salvador. You never know she's there. Jerry DeShalvo's got the antiques there.
Vintage furnishing.
All these cool little businesses that we bring exposure to by bringing the concerts to that area.
Right on. How did you hear of Levitt?
Kathy Bullwinkle, who works on our committee, was at a conference and actually met the executive director of the Levitt Foundation, Sharon Yazowski. And Sharon has a tie to Boonville. Her family had a farm there for decades and decades, generations. And they had a house, I think, on Kirkland Street down near us. So she was like, oh my gosh, Utica, I know Utica. And it's so funny how small the world is.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it came about.
Utica is that deeply rooted town where you can go anywheres and people know about Utica.
Yep.
I wear a Utica Club shirt And I got on a plane, and some old guy in Florida asked me, he goes, I'll give you $2 for that shirt. I used to work at the brewery years ago. And I'm
Get out of town. Did you give him the shirt?
No.
I would totally give him the shirt.
The most randomest thing happened to me this past year. I was in Vegas, and we were coming back from Mandalay Bay, riding the monorail.
Yep.
And we were hanging out, I'm a little tipsy, and these Canadian guys come up to me and like, hey, where are you from? All happy. You know, Canadians are all happy. And so, where are you guys from? I'm from New York. He goes, where? Utica? I'm like, no. In all my years of traveling and being on the road and doing whatever, everybody says the Bronx or Brooklyn or something like that when you mention you're from New York.
Yeah.
And he goes, Utica. And I'm like, how did you get Utica? Nobody ever says that.
What
to
was
me.
his tie?
The Comets.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was from Vancouver.
Okay.
And that was the only thing he knew about New York was Utica, New York,
That's
because of the Vancouver Comets. Or Vancouver Canucks and the Utica Comets.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Somebody was checking in under disruption. I'm assuming it was probably
Gaffney.
Gaffney.
Yeah.
Said Floodwood was awesome down there last year. Brought the kids down and had a great time.
Yes. Yeah. You know what? The kids is an important thing, and that's another thing we're trying to really open up this year. It is an awesome place to bring the family.
It is.
It is free. It is alcohol free. We don't allow alcohol.
Not free alcohol.
No, not free. That's not what I said. No. But we're going to have some different programming for the kids. And, you know, some of the first band out, we'll get into the bands in a minute, but it's an indie rock band. And we're theming the first night on June 25th, Family Night. And we would just want everybody to bring the family out to get a feel for the concerts and to, you know, hopefully fit that into their Monday night schedules over the summer. We've got families who come all the time. And also, it's great for teenagers, like tweens and teens who can't really do anything. Sophistafunk is a great example. My son would love him. He was out at camp last year when they were here. I'm like, oh, you got to hear this band. You're going to love it. And every other place they play is typically 18 and over, 21 and over, so you can't see it. So you can come see Sophistafunk no matter what age you are right at Copernic Park. And it's amazing.
That's one of the biggest complaints I hear, besides there's nothing to do in this town, is the only thing they do is, you know, for alcohol. It's all about drinking. Well, here's a great event every week that there's no alcohol. You bring your kids, you can bring your family. No excuses.
You got it. Bring lawn chairs. That's another requirement of Levitt is that we can't have seating, really. We can't have like lined up seats for people to sit because they want people to organically start talking with each other and hanging out a little bit. So we do have those cool bucket seats. I don't know if you guys saw those when you were there. They're these big Home Depot, like 10-gallon orange buckets. And we turned them over, and they have plywood at the top that are all painted. So we have about 50 of those that we keep at the DeSale Center, who's a partner. They keep all of our stuff. I love them. And every week we get a sea of volunteers come out, and we put them all over the place, and people will be sitting there, like sitting on them, standing on them, eating dinner on them, you know. So we put those out, and they're
neat. She had them up at Flower Fest too, kind of in front of the band shuttle, and people were just kind of hanging out on them. It was a little bit wet, but people are still hanging out.
Yeah,
on them.
it's for people. You know, it's for those people who kind of trip by and they're biking by and don't have a chair. You know, we'll perfectly give them a place to sit.
But you encourage to bring lawn seats and chairs and
lawn chairs. People bring blankets. You know, there's around the exterior of the fence or the park. There's a little I don't even know what you call them. There's little cement white. There's a word for them, but I can't
pillars.
think of it. Like pillars, yes, thank you. Baby pillars with a chain fence around it. There was an Eagle Scout that I'm actually going to bring and introduce to everybody at the in the audience during the concerts. But it was his Eagle Scout project was to fix up Copernic Park and make sure all those were straightened and repainted. So if you look at it from last year to this year, you're like, ooh, those look really sharp.
Wow,
and they're all straight.
cool.
And they couple as little chairs too, which is kind of nice.
How many music series are going around throughout the country?
There's 15 cities that
15?
are, yep, so
wow.
10 concerts each, 150 concerts going, free concerts. And some are starting
how cool is that?
Next weekend. Some start a little early, some go a little later. Depends on people's climates. There's people down south, you know, who gets just really hot in August, so they start a little bit earlier. And and we've got friends all over the place. It's a really good network where, you know, Sophistafunk's actually playing in Illinois at one of the new venues out there because they kind of heard about them when we were talking out in Las Vegas. So we go out and say, hey, who'd you like? Who was a great band? Who really got your audience going? Where are they from, et cetera? And we're booking people all over the place.
That's
I think
awesome.
Floodwood played in Wisconsin a couple of years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So
I'm sure they have. They've been all over.
Yeah.
Another great band.
Yeah, it's a Fist of Funk too. They've been all over the place, all over the country, back and forth. It's like they tour 3-4 times a year.
And what's cool is like you guys don't just put up the bands. You have like dancers and things like that.
Right, there's a lot of activities that go on.
The nights go, they're 6 to 9 o'clock. So from 6 to 7 is the local opener. So we've got, your local favorites who have great followings and you can see all over the place. And then from 7 to 7:30, we have intermission. So what we've been doing is programming those with youth dancers. We had belly dancers, hula hoopers. We had the Ritmo Carabino kids from the Latino Association, Toxic from Muck. And we have some good ones coming up this year too. I'm looking for some Irish dancers. We have a barbershop quartet. So
cool.
And the big thing is that we pay everyone. Everyone gets paid. That's another thing that Levitt requires. All of the bands, they get paid well. The intermission acts we pay. Anybody that we ask to do videography, photography, anything like that, we make sure that all the artists are paid.
Right on. And we got to give big ups to Finelli, too. Finelli and Sound.
Oh, my gosh.
Finelli Sound. Joe Finelli and Elliot, those guys crank
Phenomenal.
it out. You can't get down without the sound.
It is and I'm not a musician, right? And I'm not like a sound person, but when I go there and I just hear that, it's phenomenal. Yeah. It sounds so good. We get so many compliments on it. And Elliot is there, Elliot and Joe, but Elliot in particular gets there early, set up. We get down there, get him some drinks, make sure he's okay. And he gets it. He really loves and enjoys the purpose and the philosophy of what these things are, And you'll see him sneak out and get Popeyes. He gets Popeyes every Monday night. That's his thing.
Well, that's the cool thing is when you got guys know what they're doing and they're good at what they do, that's one less thing you have to worry about.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? The sound's going to be good.
Yes.
Let them do their thing.
Yep.
And have that.
Set it and forget it.
Set it and forget it, right.
Yeah.
So you can do all your other things and not have to worry about.
They have great care about it, which I really love. And they're easy to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
I'm
so glad you brought him up. Thank you.
You have to. You have to. Joe's helped me out for so long, for so many years. And he would just leave speakers at the bar back in the day. Like, hey, Joe, I got blown speakers. And the
he's
next
right
day,
there for you.
The next day, he'd be there with speakers for you. So he's
the best.
Huge help.
They'll be back.
They'll be back for sure. Let's go through the list of bands. You've got So what do you? Is it 9 weeks?
10 weeks.
It's 10 weeks. Okay.
10 whole weeks.
10 whole weeks of great live music on a Monday. And what are you going to do on a Monday? Take your bike, ride your bike down there, walk with your family. You take your little scooter. It's a nice day in the park is what it is.
There is plenty of parking. There's plenty of street parking. Some folks park over at Munson and walk over. No, I haven't had one complaint about parking. People find it.
Yeah, it's definitely parking is available all over the streets in Genesee Street. So it kicks off on the 25th of June. And Sub Radio is kicking that all off. Sub Radio, though, I'm not familiar.
Indie rock, they're coming up from D.C. I'm lovingly calling them a boy band, and I'm really excited that they're coming up for family night because I think they're going to be fun and kind of like a pop feel to them for the kids to kind of enjoy. And, they're young, they're cool. I like that. I think they're probably our furthest coming. We have one coming from Canada, and they're coming up from D.C. So I'm excited about them.
Before we get into more of the lineup, how do you guys pick the bands? Is there like a committee? Do you take submissions? Do you sit there and listen to them all? Or?
This year we started I think the Levitt brand is growing, and I think the network is growing. So as soon as it goes out, they announce in January, right the second or third or something. So we know that we're winning. And I think a lot of bands around the country are starting to look for that Levitt lineup, because if you're a band and there's 15 cities across the country who are throwing 10 weeks of music each, you want in on that. Mm-hmm. And then we're all talking and we're going to say, this band was great or this band was a pain in the ass or whatever. Can I say ass? Mm-hmm. And
I prefer it.
Sorry. So we were starting to get a lot of requests in through the Facebook page, through email. So I kind of compiled those. Lynn Michelini does all of our booking. The applicant is Utica Monday Night. She, as you know, she did Utica Monday Night for 15 years. And she was almost like the original creative placemaker, kind of doing a little bit of what Levitt does. She had you walking from one pocket neighborhood to the other throughout the whole city with different genres of music all over the place, and did that for so long. So this is that's her thing. And she's the fiduciary organization for Levitt. She's the applicant, so she's does all the booking. That's her thing. So she takes it, and again, we have to submit our regional and headliner acts, like our big ones, to Levitt. They make sure that they have to meet certain criteria. So they have to have music available for sale. They have to have a website, social media presence, this whole checklist of things to make sure that we're not hiring like our cousins high school band,
Right.
whatever. They can open, but they can't be a headliner for it. So it's a whole thing. They're a catalytic funder, so they're really with us throughout everything. They give us tons of resources and do all this review for us. So Lynn takes a look at it, and the genres, she really tries to mix it up, and they really push us to kind of push the envelope a little bit with our audience and put something in there that they might not be comfortable with, but they're going to love it. One of my favorite things was from our friends in St. Johnsbury, Vermont, that do a Levitt AMP series, and they do it on Dog Mountain. They're like the only show in town. They get like 1,000, 1,200 people to each show, and it's dog friendly. So at any point, they've got 400 dogs at the concert on this mountain. It's amazing. And my friend Molly up there who runs it, she shared with us that one guy came up and it was a music that he didn't particularly like. And he goes, I hate this music, but I just want to be here, So it doesn't matter if you're not a jazz person or if you're not a hip hop person. The hip hop concert, I keep going back to that, but it's such a cool thing that everybody loved it. There was Albert Masloom from Trenton Technology was one of our big sponsors last year, and he's on board again this year. And I remember at that concert looking across the way, and he was sitting on one of those things for the fence, and he looked over at me and just waved. And he's at the hip hop concert, and he's loving it, and he's this like cool older guy. So it's just a matter of bringing in really good quality music with quality sound, and having it in the space that people just want to be in.
And independent too. All the artists are independent.
They are, yeah.
You're not going to really find a cover band. Maybe a band will throw in a cover here.
Yeah, Levitt won't approve a cover band.
Right.
They'll throw a song in there or whatnot. You know who sang in Sheboygan, Wisconsin? They got Bizz Marquis a couple of years ago. Isn't
nice.
That's so
He's
funny.
still out there doing it all the time.
Yeah.
He's out there all the time.
He's leavening it up. I think Bizz would like Utica, you know what I'm saying?
Right?
I think so too.
That would be a great show. That would be cool. If you could work that out, we'll get him on Ease Beats and Biz.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be sick.
That would be a lot of fun. That would be interesting. Well, let's go back to the lineup. Sometimes I get a little derailed here, but I wanted to know the process of the booking of the band and stuff like that.
That's the process.
All right, so we talked about the 25th of June. That's the opener. And we got to mention my friend Paul Case is opening up that show for Sub Radio.
Yes.
So big ups to Paul. And then on July 2nd, Lori DePeace, the quintet.
Yes.
And opening up that show is Doc Wood's quintet. What's Lori?
Yeah, I think everybody knows Doc. I think
Doc's
that
been
he's
around
going
for
to
a
bring
while.
like quite a few people out. Lori is a jazz master. Lynn knows a lot more about her biography and different things, but Lori's a award-winning jazz. I think she's a local girl, has local ties.
Oh, cool.
And jazz always works really well at Copernic Park and brings out a lot of folks. So I'm really curious to see how she's going to be this year, and
I feel like jazz is that missing genre, because it's not out there like it used to be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they will come out to see jazz because it's just not out there. It's
I also think
locally, I'm saying,
like with an older crowd to come out, sit there and bring their chairs out and watch a good jazz band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everything is catered to rock music or hip hop or something like that, and it's a great change of pace to bring out like a little bit of an older crowd.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
Yep.
Indeed. And speaking of rock and hip hop, our boy Sophista-Funk is going to be happening on July the 9th with Our Common Roots. Our Common Roots are really blowing up locally. They're starting to gain a lot of popularity.
Yeah, one of the Derek Crossman, who's on the Rust to Green team, put us in touch with them, and he really likes them. He's like, please, let's get them here. So Lynn was able to work with it's like a booking Tetris, right? Because you're trying to figure out like who's on tour, who's coming over this way, what other Levitt we can kind of team up with, So they were available. I think they're going to be a great opener for Sophista-Funk, and that's going to be the concert. I mean, these are all good, but that one, like I said, was our biggest one last year, and it's just so cool. With Eagle Street shut down, there's people dancing in there, and it's
the
it's
energy
a cool
level is
vibe.
off the chains.
Yeah. And he came down with this beautiful antique saxophone. He was like playing in the audience and stuff. They're just really, really fantastic.
If anybody knows how to get the crowd pumped up, it's my man Jack Brown from Sophista-Funk. He's one of the best frontmen out there, locally, regionally, and nationally. And plus, they did the Guy Fieri. What was the intro song to the grocery? What was this thing?
Did they really?
Was it the grocery store cart wars or something like that? Kind of like when you run through the grocery store and start.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the hell it was called, but
I'm gonna go Google that. I didn't know that.
They wrote the intro from. They're really tight with Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
In fact, Guy Fieri has been the Funkin' Waffles, which Adam Gold from
Yes.
Sophista-Funk owns Funkin' Waffles.
Yep.
And you can find it in Rochester and in Syracuse. He's got 2 of them. The one.
Oh, it's so good there.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. So Guy Fieri came down to do a little special on Funkin' Waffles and became good friends. And they were playing private parties for him in Vegas. And so that's a cool little connection that they have there.
Oh, I love that.
Make sure you check out Sophistafunk on July 9th. Over at Copernic Park. See, I said it right, chicken. It's not Colin Kaepernick. It's Nicholas Copernic.
Yes, Copernic.
July 16th, the Sultans of String.
Yes, so these guys actually reached out to us, and they are very interested in our refugee population here in Utica and had made some inroads with a couple churches, and we're just very interested in connecting with Utica. So it worked out perfectly that they're able to come in. Interestingly, I'm working on inclusiveness and making sure that we're connecting our populations to this and making sure everybody knows that they are welcome on the lawn. And this bringing in Sultans of String brings in like a world music type of feel. I think there's 6 or 7 of them, and they play all these like beautiful string instruments and different things. So there is a world famous violinist that I met through the refugee center here that we've hired for a few things. And I reached out to him. I'm like, please tell me that you're in town on July 16th. So we're going to connect him with the band. And I think it's going to be just a nice magical thing for both of them.
Oh, that's really cool.
So, and we're hoping, Sultans of String is hoping to come in a little bit early and join us on, a tour and go see the refugee center. They're going to connect with the churches that they've made inroads with and kind of just enjoy Utica a little bit, which I love.
Absolutely.
That's going to be a good night.
Opening that show is Cincinnati Creek. They've been around for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cool little band. Check them out. That's all going down on July 16th. The Sultans of String. I like the name. Just like
Me
Sultans
too.
of
And their band photo that we're using in promos is just really cool too. It's like
Them
them like strutting through the dunes, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like that is perfect for you.
Yeah,
I love your branding.
Moving on July 23rd, John King.
Yeah.
And opening that show is the Blarney Rubble Band.
Little Irish to open up, and we're going to try to get some Irish dancers for intermission that day. And John King is I think he's going back to the teenagers. I think this is the one. If you like country music, he's adorable.
He looks super young.
He's super young and super talented, and I believe he's coming up from Nashville. So that's I think he's the real deal. I've listened to a few of his songs so far, and country music, as everybody always says, right? I'm a hip hop R&B girl, and country's down here, but it's his songs are. It's a little bit of a cross. It sounds a little poppy, a little country. So I think he's going to be a big hit here.
I think country now has kind of almost become the new pop.
Yeah.
Some of the country music today
so.
kind of become that new pop music.
Yeah, it's funny. I trained for a marathon I'll ever do one a few years ago, and I was so bored with all my music that I put on a Pandora country station, and you're really listening to the words, when you're running out there with your earpods on. And I'm like, oh, it's all the same, it's the same in hip hop. And they're trying to get the girl, but one might be doing it in the club and one's doing it in a pickup truck down by the river. I was like, this is all right. There's commonalities here. So I'm going to give country music a chance. And I think, the rest of the audience should too. And come on down for that one.
That's July 23rd with John King. One's doing it in the club, the other one's doing it in the pickup truck. That's the quote of the day.
Oh, jeez.
On July 30th, you're going to Flor de Toloache?
Toloache.
Toloache. Close.
Did you take Spanish in school?
No.
Because, yeah.
I barely went to school.
Oh, jeez.
I'm telling you, it sounds like a coffee at Starbucks.
Yeah, I'll have a grande Toloache with skim milk.
Toloache.
But
Can you make that skinny?
Yeah, these ladies are coming up from the Bronx, and they are a all-female mariachi band.
Wow.
I think that's like all I need to say about that.
That's all you
I
need
heard
to
that
say.
they play some Nirvana and tuck some cool stuff in there, but they're phenomenal. Just check out their website, and I think that's going to be another big one because that is so unique. Have you ever heard of a mariachi band, an all-female mariachi band playing anywhere here?
No.
No.
Other than Metalachi. Well,
Metalachi?
They come around once a year.
I never even heard of them.
Oh, they're awesome. Metalachis. There's so much. They do a twist. They're a mariachi band that play heavy metal songs.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
It's hilarious. It's comical, but they're really, really good.
Oh, nice.
Really,
this is
really
going to be
good.
nice. And then it's an all-female. We're going to work that night with Sonia Martinez, who's my good friend with the Mohawk Valley Latino Association. We're going to bring her youth dancers in for intermission. And we're working on a couple of Latino-owned businesses for sponsors that week. And Lynn put Opus Black in for opening up for them, so it's going to be an all-ladies night as well.
I love it.
We got the ladies on July 30th.
All-lady mariachi band. I am there. You totally got me excited for that.
It's gonna make me hungry.
Have a burrito stand next.
Yeah,
to it, right. So that's happening on July 30th. And then on August the 6th, Slambovia.
Right?
with
Slambovia Circus of Dreams.
Slambovia Circus of Dreams. Now, this sounds like a gypsy type of band.
It seems like that, right? They remind me, like, just seeing their pictures reminds me of like a Alice in Wonderland-y, like Tom Petty type of video. These we were put in touch with by one of our sponsors, Stephen Kowalski. I'm not sure if you've ever run into him. You would like him a lot. He is the president of Empire Recycling up in North Utica, and they have Confidata and ERL Intermodal. They've got a trucking company. So they're our main series sponsor this year. And him and his wife were down in the Hudson Valley where Slambovian is from, and kind of were at a club and saw them and just absolutely fell in love with them. Their genre is called Surreal Americana. So it's just going to be something really kind of different. Even Lynn is like, I can't really explain it. You just have to come see it, you know? And so Stephen put us in touch, and we're going to do some cool things that night.
But looking at their picture, they remind me of like this Go-Go Bordella type of band. So I got to check this out. I feel like this is something I'm going to be into.
Yeah.
Slambovia Circus of Dreams. What a great name.
Slambovia.
Slambovia.
Yeah. They play Celeste Friend, who is a jewelry designer who has a studio at 4 Elements. She's going to be a sponsor as well. She lives right down the street from me. She's wonderful. And she's like, I really want that night, like, to, see there. Because they play at the... there's an arts festival that is down like Norwich way, down that way with golden colors. I can't remember, but they book them every year there as well. So they're no stranger to kind of like Central New York. And Celeste said that they're wonderful too, and they're really engaging with the crowd, and they're high energy. So I think that's gonna be a good night.
Yeah, we like high energy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
High energy for sure. Galactic Cowboy Orchestra happening on August 13th.
We got to mention the opener for Slambovia.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Joey Grimaldi.
Yes.
From Bite. So I think people will know of her viral video of her when Doug put that up of her playing the ukulele.
Yep.
And she does the cool like Maroon 5 songs and stuff. And we took Lynn out to see her. And it's going to be, I think, Joey's maybe biggest show so far. So we got to come out and support her. She is talented, and she's new, and she's going to be great.
I love that you give the locals some love, too.
Right.
You know?
And locals that normally
aren't playing around.
In a bar.
Right.
Yeah, they're not going to play in a bar type of thing. And I feel like there's a lot of cool talent out there that that wouldn't fit in a bar situation. And it's great that you put them out there.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, moving on to August 13th, the Galactic Cowboy Orchestra.
You know this one, right? Did you say?
Yeah, they're and our good friend Fritz is opening for them.
Oh,
Fritz's
cool.
polka band. We had Fritz in here a couple weeks ago.
That's one thing we said this year. Like, we have to have Fritz's polka band.
Yeah, I think you do.
Yes. He touched bases last year. We're like, Fritz, next year we're gonna get this for you.
Yeah, the Galactic Cowboy Orchestra, a little more jammier, right?
A little jammier.
Yeah.
Progressive rock is their
Progressive
genre.
rock. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of these jam bands are trying to sway away from the moniker jam band, so they're starting to call themselves progressive rock bands.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, some are, some aren't, But anyways, regardless for the
I think
fact...
it sounds badass. Prog rock. I'll do it. All right, I'll go see it.
I think it's more doors than jam band.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
They're trying to get away from all that. But Galactic Cowboy Orchestra is a great band. You got to check them out, and that's happening on August 13th with Fritz opening. And Fritz always brings a great party.
Oh, yeah.
At one time, they were the hardest drinking polka band ever.
You're sponsored
in the
by
world.
Jaeger.
Yeah,
Hardest drinking polka band?
they're to the point where they actually outdrank Korn, the band Korn.
Really?
Yeah, and that's a fact. I was there that night, and
Wow.
everybody was just doing Jaeger.
What's Korn doing these days?
Korn, they're still around.
They're going to play at Levitt. No.
Oh, my gosh. Can you imagine?
Imagine that. That would be insane. But yeah, Fritz's polka band. They're, in my eyes, Fritz is a legend.
Oh, yeah.
Guy's a legend. Been around forever. He's been playing in that polka band since he was 8-9 years old.
Yeah.
Fritz made polka cool.
He did.
He really did.
Uh-huh.
Like I see metalheads going to polka shows. I'm
It's
like,
true.
when would you ever go to a polka show?
Wow. I want to reach out to people who dance to that, and do that. My dad, who's in New Jersey, is a huge polka guy. He loves it. So we go to the state fair down there every year and just watch. And down there, at least, there's like this whole youth group who does the polka dancing, and it's kind of cool. So if anybody out there does polka dancing, we want you there at Levitt, to show us your stuff.
Give us a lesson.
Eagle Street's like a dance floor,
It is.
so we'll bring them in.
You bring your clogs, too. I feel like polka and clogs, polka dancing
Why
and
not?
clogs go together.
Do you have clogs?
I don't.
Yeah, you
I'll
should.
buy some, though.
You should.
I'll buy some. Pretty much with the polka dance, it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. It's almost like a waltz, but it's not. There's a lot of
It's
arm
like-
swing.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's Lawrence Welk when we need him? Anyhow, moving on to August 20th, Biscuit Miller in the Mix. I love that name. And opening that show is Nate Gross Blues Band.
Yep, so that's going to be a total night of blues. Biscuit Miller, if you look up his picture, isn't he adorable?
He is.
He's quoted as having the best smile in the blues. He just looks like warm and inviting. I actually can't wait to meet him, but you know, a whole night of blues is going to be really, really nice down there. And he's, I don't know, he's just bringing it.
Yeah, blues is always good. It's good for the soul. And I feel, too,
it's good for the soul. I like that, yep.
With the Blues Society, they do their jams, and we talked about that yesterday with our guest yesterday, Uncle Charlie and the Meatballs, but they do those jams at Utica Brew, and that blues community really is very supportive when it comes to blues.
Yeah, I see that strong. I see that a lot on. I connected with them the first year and just said, "Hey guys, can you share this for us? We're bringing music in and whatnot." And they're really active on Facebook. Like there's just a lot going on that page and the group, and I'm gonna hopefully connect with them for this week too, for August.
Great. There's a lot of great blues musicians in the area too, and they need some love. That Blues Society needs some help, and get out there and support your local music. And a great way to do that is supporting Biscuit Miller in the Mix on August 20th at the Levitt AMP Music Series. Now moving on August 27th, RPR.
We're wrapping up with folk music.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's folk. Okay, cool.
And then a Dixieland band, which is real high energy, one that Lynn loves. So we're gonna end with a great note at the end of. At the end of August, just in time for Labor Day. Everybody can have their last summer hurrah and then back to work.
I love the mix of genres in your lineup this year.
It's good. It's real good.
And do you get some complaints that you don't have like the popular locals on this, or?
Well, if you look at the last 3 years, we've probably had everybody that you kind of love, and we try every year to have a whole new slate. So we're not really repeating. I think we had the Old Main twice because they're well loved and they're fantastic.
I have the Old Main every day.
Yeah,
love
every
those
day.
guys.
They're at Saranac this year. I saw too.
Well, I think you eliminate a lot of the super popular ones by not having covers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So a lot of those, and which I think is awesome that you're featuring these guys with original music and across many different genres. So like right off the bat, you eliminate a lot of the big name bands.
Yeah. And for the local openers, we have a little bit of leeway, and we can kind of do what we want with the local ones. The headliners can't be super cover bands, but we try. Again, we've had Jerry D and the Dovetones, and I love them. But they're not on the slate this year because we had them last year. So we'll see if we get it for a fourth year. We'll kind of look and see who's out there playing and who's touring is doing cool stuff then.
And you never know, there might be a new band out there that we haven't heard of that's local and deserves a shot.
Absolutely.
Or deserves to be heard.
Right.
Some great local talent. We talk about it pretty much every day on the show and how much great talent there is, and not just in music, but with art and in the comedy world. There's a bunch of funny people in this area, and there's some great videographers and photographers, and it's just a gem.
Well,
there's a lot of
even just locally. I mean, you got Kate Devin and Cassidy. If you wanted like younger, female artists, to bring out to the younger crowd.
Yeah.
Boom, right there. Two great artists. Brian Quinn, those type of people out there. That'll be great.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of talent in this area. And
so importantly, if we go for a fourth year, the first, we do the application. It's funny because this is like a year-round thing. As soon as we're done, we've got this huge wrap-up report to do for Levitt. And then maybe we have a few weeks off, and then it's time to do the application again for the next year. So we're writing grants and writing all this stuff. And then the first phase is a public voting period. So probably about November, I believe it is usually, we do a public voting, and we have to get voted by our community and our audiences up to the top 25 out of all of the people who apply for Levitt. So if you don't make it to the top 25, even if you've been doing it for 3 years, you're out. So we need... I'll be circling back to you guys in the fall if we apply again to kind of rev up people.
Oh, you're going to apply again.
Yeah, we did pretty good. But there's, St. Johnsbury, going back to Vermont, they have 7,500 people in that town. And they got thousands and thousands and thousands of votes. Again, they're like kind of the only show in town, but they were like number 2 out of the 40 that applied on that round.
What was your total? Do you know the amount of votes you got?
I do, but I am not remembering it right now. I want to say in the 700 or something like that.
Yeah.
But they give us all the emails of everybody so that we're able to communicate with people, let them know we got it, and let them know the lineup.
What a great network they've created, though.
It's scaled
amazing.
It's scaled ridiculously, and it's nice because we're all not working in bubbles. So frequently, I'm reaching out to people to say, "Hey, what are you doing for this, or what are you doing for this?" And they take a lot of the good things that we've done in Utica too, especially with some of our promotions and outreach. We do like for the past couple of years, we've done door hangers for the neighborhoods, and we have the kids at Muck go out and put them on the neighborhood doors. And people are like, ooh, I like that, or just our banner that we put on the stage. We have welcome in the top, 10 languages that are spoken in Utica. And, we work at the refugee center, and they said just having that out there for the 15 weeks that we're going to have it out is just, they see their language and they see that, hey, that's cool. There's care there.
Is East Utica listed as a language? East Utica. Yo.
How do you say welcome in East Utica?
Hey.
Sup. Sup.
Oh my God.
How you doing?
Have you visited any of the other Levitt amphitheaters?
That is a fabulous question. I'm trying to plan a couple trips this year.
Yeah.
I'm from New Jersey, so we're a little bit above Trenton. I'm going to try to go see Trenton this year. And I might go out and see, I've made really good friends in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, and I'm going to really try to get out there for one of theirs, take a flight out there. It's pretty cool.
That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. I'd like to get to St. Johnsbury, too, up in Vermont, because that venue just sounds absolutely gorgeous at Dog Mountain. There's one in Rhode Island this year, too, but we'll see what we could do. I mean, it's going to be a busy summer.
Tell me about it.
We'll see.
Tell me about it. What a great thing this is, though. We need to vote for it next year, too. You're doing it. I'm sorry. I'm going to make you do it.
Well, I need you to come this year, because we have, as part of the...
Well, we're coming this year.
As part of the wrap-up, we have to do crowd counts for every single week, so we've got to put our numbers in.
How do you manage that? Head count? Just go around and you have to count all the heads? Or?
We have a couple people who do crowd counts at different parts during the concert. We usually try to do it at between that 7:30 when people are coming for the headliner, and that's when we're going to get our most robust audience count. And I have 2 or 3 people go out, and they kind of they've got it down, and they take different parts of it, and they're like, all right, I'm going to count from this tree over, and you just kind of count it up. We do it a couple nights, and there's no science to it, but you got to do it.
I just wondered if there was square footage type of thing. You have the area, the area of the park, and one person for every 2 inches or something like that. Or
when I do, I just try to count as fast as I can and just look at heads, because you'll have somebody walking over here, and sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm going to count them again, whatever.
I counted you
that dog. That dog. I'm going to count that dog too.
All the dogs count too.
Yeah.
Siamese twins get counted twice.
Yeah, there you go.
We haven't had any Siamese twins yet.
We got a couple people checking on the text line. Angela, our good friend Angela's checking in.
Angela.
Hi, y'all. Yay, Michelle. Go Levitt. Rock star.
Awesome.
We did. Let's talk about Flower Fest really quick.
Sure.
Because Flower Fest I thought was awesome.
Yes.
And we talked to Angela during our live broadcast at Flower Fest, and she said she kind of assembled the Avengers of people, local people coming
Avengers.
together.
It was
talking
a good
about
crew.
our committee. We did have a great crew.
It was a good crew down to the very end. We were there till about 6 o'clock at night, taking art balls and putting them in a U-Haul and making sure they were safe and stored and everything. And
we should have left them out. That would have been so cool if we could have just.
The things that could have happened to those. I did leave the flowers out up by Copernic Park,
Did you?
and I'm like, you know what? We're having the Levitt press conference on Monday. I'll just leave them, and I'm down there all the time, so I keep checking, and they're still there. Nobody's wrecking them because they're beautiful. I'm like, all right, now they're staying there to Levitt. So.
Nice.
They like it.
I also feel like, once you start making the area better, people start having a little more pride in where they live and want to keep it that way.
That's the plan, right?
Yep.
That
Absolutely.
is the plan. We have, during Flower Fest, we put the flower boxes out, and we've got flowers planted, and hoping that, we can work with the business owners to help upkeep those and make sure that they're watered. We've got the big, cool screen flowers that were made by the Rusty Green team that are left behind. Mm-hmm. We've got the butterflies over in Palermo. So even just coming through that circle, it's a hectic circle, and you're not always looking up. But with that stuff and the scale of those flowers and different things, you could tell that somebody put some love into the neighborhood.
And that's why, people complain about this circle. But I think it makes the whole area look so much nicer. I mean, you get that little, with all the flowers.
I think there's been less complaining about the circle other than when it was getting constructed.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Now, the flow of traffic's awesome around it.
Do you remember the old traffic pattern there?
Oh, it was a mess.
It was the worst.
Was so scary.
Yeah.
I'm like, where did I move? What is going on? Where's the road?
There's 9 lights. You don't know which one's yours. And 2 will go off at the same time, almost cause an accident.
Who created that?
I love where the band shell was in Palermo's parking lot there for Flower Fest. That was a cool little venue, right?
It fit perfect.
Yeah, I think Tony was out there and he's looking at it. He's like, "Yeah, we could do this again."
Yeah.
So we'll get Tony back on board.
It fit perfect.
But it was good. We counted again crowd counters, and Flower Fest was hard because there was indoor, outdoor things. But we figured there was 450 people there.
Oh, cool.
It was cold and rainy.
Yeah,
and that worked
so it's still
completely
a
against
success.
us.
Yep.
Man, if it was a 70-degree day, we would have been
Like the day before and the day after.
pretty much
Yeah.
like those 2 days. It would have been. Thanks, rub that in. It would have been phenomenal. But we do it every year, and there's always the question. We talked about like, hey, should we move it? Should we move it tomorrow? There are so many pieces to that thing that we would have lost you. You weren't available the next day. The bands couldn't have moved. It's tough. So you just go forward.
And then
and
the
do
next
best
day
you
was
can.
Mother's Day.
Right.
Yeah,
so that would have worked against us too.
Yeah.
But it was a
Those are good,
great event.
It was an awesome event. Awesome. I wish they left the globes out around the circle, though. I thought that looked so cool.
Yeah.
But you're right. Somebody would have
so
stole them, or they would have got stolen or smashed or
Rolled
something.
them down the
Yeah,
street.
but
They're a little bit delicate, so I would just be afraid of, and even wind, we've had a lot of windstorms, and just that would be terrible if
Winter.
it caused an accident because there's a big ball rolling in the thing. Oh my God. There's just so many bad things.
what was funny is the mayor came up to me. He's like, Anthony, we need to do this twice a year.
He calls you Anthony?
Yeah, we need to do
calls
this.
me Shell.
We need to do this twice a year. What if we did this again in the fall, like September? Ask everybody else. I'm just along for the ride, pal. I just booked the bands, and set up the production.
Oh, do you know the planning? I mean, it's so. We talk about this all the time. People who do the guts and the planning and stuff like that. I mean, we were meeting since probably January for that, and probably before that. And then just all of the stuff, even making the program book was like hours and hours, and all the coordination. And then when you get there, it just looks so easy. I guess that's when you do a pretty good job,
Right.
is when it looks pretty seamless and everybody's having a good time and nothing blew up, right? So
Nothing blew up, and
Yeah, Angela.
everybody had a great time.
Yep.
Angela's a rock star. She's the rock star in this whole situation.
And Gia checking in.
Gia too. She's
Gia.
another rock star. The whole committee was a rock star.
yeah,
It was
that was a good
great.
group. Katie Giacovelli was there to the bitter end with me too, and
Katie rocks.
yeah, she was great.
Katie
She offered us her spot because we had a little problem with the power at first, and she's like, "Oh, you could take my spot right here." I'm like, "No, I think we're good."
Aw,
It ended up working out, but yeah, she was like, "You can take my spot," and real helpful.
good crew. That was fun.
Looking forward to it next year for sure. Unless we do it in September like Mayor Palmieri wanted to. I know it's a lot of work, and she's so big. Everybody's so busy. It's kind of hard to plan it, but
Yeah, it's hard. It's like, I always this is terrible, but I equate these things to like giving birth. I've only done that once, but I imagine with people with more kids, it's like terrible going through, right? And it's painful, and you're like, oh, why? And then after a little bit, you've got this cool thing, and you're like, I guess I could do that again. So that's kind of what these things are like, right? So
We got
just
Bill
give us a couple months off of Flower Fest.
Bill checking in says he loves this show,
thank you, Bill.
and he also said he wanted tribal law, but I don't know if they'd fit in on Monday night.
You're probably not looking
Tribal
for,
law?
You're probably not looking for heavy metal though, right?
It depends, I guess. Can they family friendly it?
Well, maybe. I don't know.
if you're the Cliffords.
Yeah. Nicholas Anthony is saying Michelle Truett is awesome.
Oh,
So-
I just got a message from him, Nick. Thanks.
Nice. Thanks, Nick. And if everybody could do us a little favor, too, if you could just click share, it would help us all out. All here at the D, EC Radio, as well as the Levitt Music Series. Just click share. Get it out there,
I
please.
keep forgetting we're like on the internet.
Yeah, we're on the internet. We're all over the place. See, we do the podcast forum, and then
Like we're in
we
the neighborhood hanging out.
Yes. Also checking over on Twitch, we've got the Fire Phoenix #2 checking in, saying hi to Chicken and you and everybody. So
Hi, Fire Phoenix.
hi, Fire Phoenix.
Hi
Thanks
there.
for checking in. He wants us to bring tribal law on the show, and we will actually.
Oh,
I've been
absolutely.
talking to those guys. They're not coming on until their album is finished. They're in the studio right now, and they're not going to come on until then, so we can help promote that. So I've
Definitely
already
like to get those guys in.
I've already been in talks with them for a while. They're my homeboys, so of course we got to have them in. But my homegirl is in the studio right now with us right now, Michelle Truett. Michelle, let's talk about other things that you do. We got a few more minutes here because not only booking the Levitt AMP music series and 484 Designs, you're into a lot of things. You're on boards and committees. Let's talk about like the Children's Museum.
Yes.
That's another thing you're involved
Yep,
with.
that's a client actually. And actually, I part-time I'm a marketing coordinator for Kids Oneida, and Kids Oneida just took over managed services of the Children's Museum. So I'm assigned to that. So I get to go and have fun and hang out with kids and do some really cool things. There's some we're working on some strategies and some really exciting things coming up for the museum, which I'd be happy to share with later when I can share. But right now we're just reintroducing people to the museum that they grew up with. It's like the perfect place to play for little ones. We've got the main street downstairs. We have space things upstairs, the dance floor. So the kids just love it, and they can run through there. It's very affordable. We have a really nice thing where it's the Museums for All program, where if you are on any sort of public assistance and you have an EBT card, a SNAP card, you can show that and get up to 4 members of your family in for only $1 each, which is really nice.
That's very cool.
Yes.
Have they did some construction around the Children's Museum? Isn't there like new features and stuff like that? Or I haven't been there since the 80s, so I really don't know. I know. I'm a bad Utican.
He hasn't been a child since the 80s, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's a good way to dig him out of that one.
Thanks, chicken.
I'm here for you.
There's not new construction or anything. There's the 3rd floor is very interesting. We've had, when Elizabeth Brando was head of the museum a couple years ago, she brought in a cool Allison Nano exhibit, and it took over the whole 3rd floor. And when that exhibit moved out, the 3rd floor is like an event space. So we use that to do big things like princess breakfasts, and we have a superhero breakfast that's coming up, where we're bringing in Spider-Man and Captain America and Wonder Woman on Father's Day.
Oh,
Actually,
cool.
Father's Day breakfast. So I'm working on, my son's a gymnast, so he's like, can I get a Black Panther costume on? So I'm working on
How
that.
awesome
So
is that?
there may be a Black Panther something
You gotta get
flipping
Bat
into
Dad.
that. Bat Dad?
Do you ever see the videos on Facebook, Bat Dad? Oh, they're hysterical.
I'll bet. Yeah, it's funny.
Oh my goodness.
It's like, eat your Cheerios.
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, it's
I love
funny.
it.
He's funny.
Yeah. So that takes up a good amount of time in the week. And
So busy.
I do a lot with the History Center as well. I'm a huge history buff. We did that cool history mural down by the Children's Museum a couple of years ago, and I just help out with whatever. If anything has something to do with history, I'm on it. We just did a new 200th bicentennial logo for St. John's Church. We're having a lot of cool company big 100-year, 125th year anniversaries with like Masonic and Vic's Lithograph, which I'm working with Angela on. Empire Recycling just had their 100th a couple years ago. So there's these great family-owned businesses that have been around here forever that we're celebrating.
Yeah.
So I'm all into that area too.
What do you do on your downtime? What do you like to do
I
for
run.
fun?
I run and I snowboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course not now, but oh man.
Well, snowboarding, you got 9 months out of the year to do that.
Actually, with D getting a little bit older, we're out as much as we can because now he's got a job and he's doing this and that, and he's got a girlfriend, so he's out and about. But oh man, snowboarding's great. We are in the coolest spot in the country, I think, too, for snowboarding, because 2 to 4 hours in any direction, you are in the hottest resorts, the best mountains. You could do a day trip and come back to Bristol, or Gore is my favorite. That's a whole different podcast. I love it. You guys snowboard?
No.
I don't.
Oh.
I tried downhill skiing one time,
Me
and
too.
I pretty much fell down the entire
Well,
mountain.
you probably were skiing.
I got
Oh.
So, I think snowboarding would be better because I'd like to use my hands. Where the poles got all caught in my jacket.
There's
and
too
everything.
many pieces for skiing for me, but yeah, if you ever want to learn, I'm a good teacher now, because I was 30 when I learned and my son was 5. I'm like, I better do this to stay cool, And I learned with by a 15-year-old, and years later when I finally figured it out, I'm like, oh, there you go. So now I can get you down like that.
See,
Nice.
I was way too top heavy.
That has nothing to do.
It was like a
with
weeble
it.
wobble.
Nothing to do with it.
I got knocked out by the gondola. Is what happened to me on my only time trying to snowboard.
Did you really?
Yeah,
How does that happen?
It's a long story.
It should not happen.
It happened, and he'll want
At Gore?
Yeah, it was at Gore. Not knowing that going to the guy. I don't want to get into this story right now.
Oh, I think we should.
We talked about it on a previous podcast, and if you want to go to that,
You might be the only person ever to have that happen to.
Oh, I know. And then I ended up throwing my snowboard down the mountain. I was so frustrated, and a lot of bad things happened.
Well, I promise you, if you ever want to try it again, I got you.
Maybe.
This could be a fun bit.
It could be. You're right.
Just make sure our health insurance is intact.
I have insurance. I'm all set.
I know that's when you're 40 and you're doing it, and there's like that part where you go just fast enough where you're on the brink of like, oh my God, I could die. And then I'm like, oh man, did I pay my disability insurance?
Yeah.
Like, am I good? Like, what happens? Because I work with my hands.
Am I caught up?
It's
I
so
better
fun.
be caught up.
You guys run the Boilermaker? Do you run? I thought you used to run.
Well, what
Am I
do-
dreaming?
You know what I do is I run. I'll go to MVCC. I'll walk the hundreds and sprint the corners. That's what I do for exercise, and then
Okay.
I go to the gym. So
Yeah.
that's my exercise.
Okay.
Running as far as a marathon, no,
It's something to do.
I can't. I can't. I don't think
It's
I could.
fun.
Do
I
it.
do that Peak to Brew race every summer. It's like a Ragnar, but it's a localized, and you start up at the top of Whiteface Mountain on a Friday, like 5 a.m, and you have 12 people on the team, 2 vans, and then one van goes, and then the next van goes, and you have we have 4 different runs. So you run in the middle of the night and everything, and it ends at the brewery.
Wow,
that's cool.
It is super cool. You kind of feel like you don't even know your name at the end of it, but it's amazing.
I feel like there's so many cool runs now. Like you got the color runs, you got like
Yeah,
the
mud
falling
runs.
leaves run. They got like a hangover run.
Yep.
I mean, you get the mud runs.
I gotta tell you, once you get into it, I've got this really great group of friends that run every weekend, and I can't even say it on the air what we say to each other, but it's like, your friends make you do things, so you're like, oh, let's sign up for this and sign up for that, and all of a sudden you're like, I wouldn't have any clothes if I didn't run races. Like you get t-shirts and stuff for everything, so I mean that works out nice. But you could do probably 3 races a weekend around here.
Yeah, no
yeah.
doubt.
Crazy.
No doubt. There was just a run last week.
What was
Which
last
one?
week? It was the Erie Canal. half.
Eric, yes, that's
Yep.
the one.
That's a nice one. I usually do that. I didn't do that this year. I'm a little out of shape because I was doing Flower Fest and other things, and
You're busy.
I've been behind on my training.
You got a lot going.
And you got that Boilermaker thing.
Yeah, that's.
Boilermaker
I heard that's
thing's
kind of
coming up.
popular.
Yeah.
Do you run it every year?
Yeah, I have. And my son's, he started when he's 13, so this will be his 5th year. He's running it too.
Wow,
He's a,
he's a beast.
you know how
that
boys
kid.
are. They go out and they'll run like 2 practice runs and then pump out 9.3 miles like it's
Oh, yeah.
nothing. And I'm like, wait. So he does it on his own. He's good.
Yeah, he's an animal, your son.
Yeah.
I
He's
remember he
awesome.
was this cute little boy running
Yeah.
around the fort back in the day, going crazy.
Yeah.
And now he's just blossoming into this wonderful young man.
Yeah, he's a good kid. He'll be
Major
18,
athlete,
and I'm
too.
like thinking of like I made an adult. This is awesome. Like he knows how to do things. Like I think I could. That's our job as a parent, is to put ourselves out of business, and you put out people who are, who are good people, and they know how to do things and can take care of themselves. So I think we're getting there.
Right on. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for joining us. You truly are a gem in this
Oh,
town, and we're very
Back
lucky
at
to have you.
Thank you so much. Thanks
We
for
are-
doing this. This is really cool. I'm glad I got to know about what you're doing with the business.
Yeah.
And if there's anything I could do to help you, by all means.
And
let me know.
likewise,
Yeah.
likewise,
thank
I'm
you.
sure we can help each other out on many different things, and whatever you need, just holler us. And if you got an event you need to promote or whatever, please, use our platform.
All
Please,
right.
please.
I
do.
know where you are now.
You
Yeah,
know
right.
where we are. You're in the jungle, baby. You're in the jungle. But before we got out of here, we got to give some love and respect to the sponsors. A good quality home inspection is
Priceless.
that boy chicken. You're right on the ball today, dude. I like it. Call Josh Amodio today at 315-525-8725 for your next home inspection. In-depth and detailed reports, thorough inspections, and Josh pays attention to details. When he gets to the house, he's there all day, all night. He goes through every nook and cranny of your house, and he takes a selfie on the roof usually. That's like his shtick. But call Josh before you're ready to put your home on the market, or if you're looking to buy a home, or even if you're looking to update your home, Josh could do all that for you. Call him today, 315-525-8725. And for legal help quick, you better call Nick. Need legal help quick, you better call Nick. We got to come up with that jingle. Call attorney Nick Pasalacqua and his team of associates at 315-500-NICK, or hit him up online at cnytriallaw.com, and stop down to the showroom at 5046 Commercial Drive in Yorkville and see why it's easy to do business with Steve Ponte Volkswagen. Hit him up online, stevepontevolkswagen.net. Chicken, I want you to have yourself a great Memorial Day weekend.
You too, man. And we should let everybody know we won't be on Monday.
We won't be on Monday.
Nope.
Next week, I'm only on 2 days next week. I'm only on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I'm not sure if you're going to take over on Thursday or
See
not.
what I can do.
See what you can do. But next week, it's only 2. I know my man Mark Giordano's coming in from the Utica Combat Athletic Association. Mark's a great man. And then we also got Tiffany coming in,
Yep.
right? She wants to talk
Farm to school?
farm to school, farm to table,
Something like farm to
FFA type thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. We need to check. We need to
Got
check our
farming
notes.
in it, though.
She's gonna hit me up later. You son of a.
You don't know what I do, chicken.
What do you got planned for this weekend?
This weekend, I am going to crash at the Jack White show on Sunday at Omegang.
Nice.
That's the plan, and I'll just kind of hang out around the house. I got to do a bunch of housework. I've been lacking. And this is the only weekend I have off, believe it or not, which usually I'm out in Chillicothe on Memorial Day weekend. But this year I'm not out there, so I'm going to do some housework, get some housework done, and then go crash at the Jack White show.
See, I'm going into the woods. I'm unplugging, getting off the grid. I'm looking forward to not having to run around, be somewhere.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's my day. It's like, I'm kind of like you. I'm here.
Right.
And then I live so far away, I can't drink. So now I could just, like, hang out at my camp, sit around a campfire, and just chill out and relax. What are you doing this weekend?
That sounds awesome.
You got any plans this weekend, Michelle?
Not too much.
No?
I this sounds like terrible, but I like just to work when it's quiet. You know, I've got some projects I need to just dive into and, you know, get a little training in and maybe go to the movies, just chill. I like the just nobody bothering you.
Yep. I like it because nobody can reach me on my cell phone. If there's something happens, I'll deal with that Monday when I get home.
Yeah, exactly. You got to unplug a little bit.
Yep.
You got to rejuvenate and then come back ready to kick butt on Tuesday.
Absolutely.
That's the plan.
Recharge that creative battery.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, enjoy yourself. Enjoy your weekend. Everybody enjoy your weekend. I want to remind everybody they can listen to this podcast and previous podcasts of VC Radio and all the great content at disruptionnetwork.net. Hit us up. .net and follow us on Facebook and social medias and Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff.
And enjoy your Saranac.
And today's opening day is Saranac. So if you're out there, make sure you call a DWI expert. If you get caught drinking, call Nick. 315-500-NIC.
That worked perfectly.
Yeah, right? See how they went?
Yeah, right. No, make sure you drive safe out there.
Absolutely. Take a cab,
and
Uber,
if you are
whatever.
drinking, make sure you call a cab or CNY cabs or call Uber.
And don't be a dick to the bouncers.
Is that your PSA
yes,
for today?
Don't be a dick to the bouncers.
We'll see you on Tuesday. See you. Bye. Later. Hasta luego.
We are a generation of lost masculinity, and we got to start getting it back. No matter if you're straight or gay, no matter if you stick it in the front or you stick it in the rear. For the love of our sons, we've got to stick it in there like a man.
You know what the hell you're listening to?
It's EC Radio.
The Property Sisters of the Mohawk Valley was born when 3 top producing agents with over 25 years of combined experience selling real estate joined forces to take real estate to the next level. We practice with honesty, integrity, and the knowledge to help make the buying and selling process easy and stress-free for all of our clients. We pledge to always make our clients our top priority from start to finish and even after the house is closed. We will always be a valued resource for information and assistance for our buyers and sellers. Our customers over the years have become not only past clients, but great friends. As we join hands together as the Property Sisters of the Mohawk Valley, we look forward to serving our clients and our community and making a positive difference. You can reach us at 315-601-9630 for all of your real estate needs.
When it's your hard-earned money on the line that you are investing into a home, it makes sense to choose a proven professional to assist you in making one of the biggest investments you may ever make. Josh's dedication of over 20 years to the home construction industry allows him to bring knowledge and experience to your doorstep. That means you can feel confident and comfortable with his service to you. Past clients love his attention to detail and thorough written reports. By allowing Priceless Inspections to help you make a well-informed decision concerning your property, you will find that a quality inspection is priceless. Follow Priceless Inspections on Facebook or call 315-525-8725.
Hi, this is attorney Nick Pasalacqua. The team of attorneys I have assembled at Pasalacqua & Associates has been carefully hand-picked to include the best trial attorneys in the particular areas of the law that we practice. Have you been charged with DWI or any other crime? Members of our team include former assistant district attorneys now fighting to protect your rights 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Have you or someone you love been seriously injured in a motor vehicle accident? Members of the team at Pasalacqua & Associates include former insurance defense attorneys now fighting to ensure that you get every penny you're entitled to. If you need legal help quick, don't waste your time or money calling anyone else. Remember, for legal help quick, you better call Nick and the team at Pasalacqua & Associates. 315-500-NIC or 315-500-6425 or visit cnytriallaw.com today.